So this is going to be our occasional Patreon freebie. I have some extra time today. I thought I would go ahead and just make a free one for everyone to enjoy. So this is an 11 by 14. My whole goal here is I'm going to show you that you don't need fancy stuff to make really cool stuff. So we're going to use, here's what we're going to use. We have our poster board, we have black, we have white, and we have clear coat. This is that one odd thing, but we do need it to keep the paint wet. We're also going to use some magazine pages, right? Just magazines that you get in the mail. More poster board, just more poster board, and make sure that your scrap poster has a decent amount of a flat side to it. It'll be a photo scene, and we're going to add a little waterfall in here, I think, as well. So let us begin. Now I think I would like a sky into this painting, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to spray some black right at the top, but we can't leave it just black. We can't do that, because if we want to see these next layers, and those next layers are going to be black, it's not going to work. So here we go. We're going to take some white. You're going to have to find your distance. Pull your can really far back. If you hold it too close, you're going to get a really solid line like that. Pull it back so you get something nice and separated, like so. And we're going to spray underneath this black. Okay, spray around here. Let the overspray do most of the work. Okay, and just kind of work your way up until you get the correct amount of white or lightening that you want. Now, if you want it to darken up a little bit, I think it could be dark up there in the sky a little bit. We're just going to pull back that black and eat away at some of that white. So there we go. Some stars, here's how we're going to do that. We're going to spray some white on the finger, flick to the side first to get those nasty big blobby clusters off, and then flick onto your painting. Let's do a quick thing of mountains, because why not? So go ahead and take some trash, some of that poster board that has a flat side, just tear yourself off a little piece. We're going to spray some black off to the side. That flat side is now a paintbrush. This is your paintbrush, so dip it in the black, and we're going to make some wonky looking triangles. You can make your mountains however you really want. Maybe you want them to be really pointy. In that case, you can give them really nice points, like so. Or you could go ahead and kind of make them more flat. Just remember, this is nature, okay? So try not to make the sides of your mountain completely straight. Add a bunch of like bumps and jagged edges and all that other good stuff. And how about we go across the entire thing here? Why not, right? We'll go across the entire thing. I think I would like another little peak right there. All right, I'm being shaky. I'm being shaky with my strokes to kind of give it that more natural look. Go ahead and fill that in. Now these are way off in the back. They're silhouetted, and it's not going to look weird if you leave them completely silhouetted. However, with painting with this, or with anything probably, it's leaving some texture behind, and I'm going to leave it because once again, I like it, and it really doesn't matter what these look like with them being so far in the back. So there we go. We have a little mountain range back there. That's cute. That's cool. We're going to move on to the next layer. So we need a separator. This is just going to be the white again, because that's all we're working with today. Pull that can back and just add another little mist underneath those mountains, that little mist down there, so we can actually see that next layer. That's the whole goal. You just want to see that next layer. Let's take a magazine now, and I'm just gonna fold it. I'm just gonna show you the way that I fold it, because I don't really understand it or understand how to explain it. But I'm gonna go ahead and fold this page once this way, and then I'm gonna go the other way. Just turn it around, fold it that way, and then once again turn it around and fold it this way. And this is what mine looks like. We want to use the flimsy part. That's the part that we want to use, and I think actually something like this, if you want like really small leaves and stuff like that, you just fold it over again, right? Now if you want like rounded treetops, you're going to go ahead and give it that bend, right? Just kind of give it a bend, something like that. If you want random plant life, I just kind of go crazy and I tap and I rotate this in all sorts of different directions. Some black to the side. Now I'm going to take that flimsy side and I'm going to coat that up in some black, and I'm going to go ahead and basically enclose this whole area, I think, in trees and leaves. And if we want those rounded treetops, remember, we just want to bend it, right? So maybe we have something going on like that. Just kind of make a border. Just make a border, and then we'll add the cushion afterwards. I'm not thinking too much into this. Maybe we have a bit of a spiky, sharper side of whatever kind of plant right there. Don't think too much into it, but that looks pretty good. Now, we do need a cushion here, so you can just go ahead and keep tapping it in. That's perfectly fine. If you're not scared of overspray, or you have a good understanding of control and your spray paint can, I'm just gonna go ahead and spray in some black. See, I'm holding my can a little bit closer. so we can minimize that overspray as much as we can. That looks pretty good, but let's go ahead and make another layer. So for another layer, we need a separator. Take that white, we're gonna pull it back and just spray underneath that black, add that cloud, that mist. Let's go ahead and do another one. Maybe we just want a new sort of tree line over here on the right side. Maybe we'll do rocks or something over here on the left. So let's just take this magazine again. I'm using the same one. Maybe I want a tree right here. And we can make tree trunks in a second, but let's just make all of the leaves. Once again, you want to add that cushion of some black. Now, once I get closer, I want to show off more details. So something that I do, even if I spray down the cushion, this magazine, or if you're using a sponge, the sponge will be leaving a texture behind. I'll usually just go in and tap so we can kind of keep that texture going and kind of keep that flow going. So I'm just going to go and tap real quick, and I'm not doing it any sort of way. I just want to pick up some of that paint. And you know what, I want some of that texture up there as well. So let me just go ahead and tap up there. Now let's do the tree trunks. We're gonna use that same piece of poster board that we used to paint in those mountains. Now I'm gonna call this the blade. I know it's not a blade, but we're gonna call this sharp side the blade, just to make my life easier. I'm gonna coat that blade in the black. And what I'm gonna do is we could go at an angle. Yeah, why don't we make these trees kind of at an angle, not just straight down. So I'm gonna just go along with the blade here. I coated it in some black, and I'm just swiping down. Swipe down with your blade, right? And we can go ahead and have this branch connect to that one. And we just have lines connected to those lines as well. If you want something really thin and really precise, we're just gonna use that corner of that poster board there. You know what, maybe we have some branches kind of coming out of these trees. So I'm just gonna go ahead, and this is gonna be kind of what we do for our next layer. We're gonna start scraping with some poster board. Let's go ahead and scrape in some little lines. It's these tiny little details. We have a branch kind of hanging out over here, because why not? There were some little dots over there I don't remember making, but they were there, so now they're leaves. Do another separator real quick. Just a little bit of white. Remember, just pull that can back. It's not that scary. You'll get the hang of it, even if you don't get it your first time. But now we're gonna take another piece of magazine, and we're gonna do some rocks real quick. To fold mine in half, just to give it a little bit more strength. But I'm gonna take some black and spray on this side right here. Now I'm also gonna go ahead and spray some clear coat here, just so I don't get stuck, just so I can kind of slide and glide with my page. So I'm gonna grip the bottom of this page, turn it over, and you can see the black is right there. This is my dominant hand, so this is what I'm more comfortable painting with. I'm gonna use my fingers of my dominant hand to paint with this magazine page, and just paint in some rocks. Just like so, and I'm gonna leave all that texture there. It's free texture. It's what it is. It's free texture without all the work of putting in a ton of texture and details. I think it could use a little cushion of black right there, just to be safe. But let's add some white for our separator. There we go. That was such an easy layer. So a little bit of white down here. I'm gonna go on with our big trees, right? Our big trees in here, and we're just gonna scrape these in. So I think we can get rid of that. I'm gonna grab a new piece of poster board. Once again, sharp side. Okay, so let's take some clear coat. Everywhere you can see a big tree going, spray some clear coat. And we're just gonna scrape these in. Remember, the bottoms of trees are a bit thicker. You won't usually, right? So we can go ahead and we can lean into this side, into that poster board a bit more. I know it's kind of hard to see. And then as we go up, oh, that's a really thick boy. But as we go up, we ease up, right? Or if you do it the other way, which is the way that I'm more comfortable with, we start with little pressure and then we ease into it. Let's go ahead and just say that's actually a separate branch. And these are just lines connected to some lines. So there we go, we have a tree right there. Let's have another, maybe just a baby tree right here. If you find that the paint's not scraping as easily, one of two things: you need a little bit more clear coat, or you just need a new piece of scrap poster. Let's go ahead and add another tree. How about we just have a tree kind of cut in front of that one as well? So I'm going to start with a good deal of pressure, and then as I go up, I'm just going to kind of ease up. Even if it's just a tiny, tiny bit. Another one hanging out right here. Go back to this magazine. We'll add a bunch of leaves up there. Okay, and it doesn't have to be every branch, but I would like some of those branches to have leaves. So some black to the side. coat all of this up. And I'm just going ahead and I'm giving it that kind of bend. I would like some leaves up there on that baby tree. And we're gonna have plant life down here, so we go ahead and start doing stuff like, oh, I like those. Those almost look like little flowers. Let's go ahead, and we can even have maybe over here, there's just some leaves hanging off a tree that's off canvas, that's off scene, that we don't see. If you want more like palm leaves and stuff like that, I usually do this with poster board or sponge, but we can try to do it with this. Just gonna swipe and then lift in the motion, right? Just kind of swipe and lift in the motion, and it does work. It actually works perfectly fine and well. Just to kind of give you guys some different ideas and some different little techniques for your arsenal. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and give that the little cushion that it needs. Tap in that texture. We can also go ahead and scrape in some more little detail in front of these leaves as well, which is probably a good idea. So let's go back to that poster. And let's go ahead, and it doesn't need to be like huge things. So you can go ahead and just swipe in like little pieces of grass, just kind of flicking our little blade up, our little trash blade. Maybe we actually have a whole nother tree out in front of this. There we go. How about we add another tree right over here? So just swipe up a little thing. And I'm just gonna leave them naked. I'm not gonna give them leaves, mostly because I don't wanna go back and do leaves right now. I already did it. Okay, our separator. And then we're gonna grab a new page of magazine, and we're gonna go ahead and make our rocks for our waterfall. So again, I like to fold it in half. Just give it a little bit more strength. Instead of having just one waterfall like drop down and just splash into a river, I think I would maybe like to have it roll down a rock and then just like roll down again. So that's what I'm gonna go for here. If you just want one big one, then just make one big one. But we're gonna take some clear coats, make sure that paint is wet. We're gonna add some black onto this page. And let's figure out where we want this waterfall to actually be. I think I want it to be right here. And the reason I'm marking that is because it's gonna be the dip, right? So I'm gonna elevate everywhere else around it. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm swiping in this black. And if we need a little bit more black, just spray it on. Not a big deal at all. Maybe we have an arch, a little archy rock. And I think I want like a tall little thing, right? Or a tall little thing? Yeah, a tall little thing, that's what I want. So let's make sure we're elevated around that dip. Have the waterfall spill over to the right, and then I'm gonna have it spill over to the right again. We're just gonna kind of keep that flow going, because that's the flow that my magazine texture kind of made. Okay, so we're just gonna stick with that just to kind of be safe. Now, let's add not just a cushion, but we're also gonna go ahead and do our water this way. So I'm gonna take some black and I'm just gonna fill in the rest of this canvas here. Another piece of poster board. We're just going to use the last of the flat side that we have, like so. I'm going to do more scraping, except this time it's going to be back and forth with the blade, right? So we're going to place this down, like right around there. I think that's where the waterfall might end, or it might end down a little bit more. Let's say it ends right there, right? That's where the waterfall ends. That's where the water line is going to begin. That's where our little body of water is going to begin, right? So we're going to go along with the blade, swiping back and forth. Can you guys see it better if I demonstrate it this way real quick? I can't do it while holding it like this, but at least you guys can get the idea. I'm gonna put the blade down, we're gonna swipe back and forth, and we're gonna work our way down. Make sure that this paint is still wet with some clear coat. Blade goes down, swiping begins, swipe back and forth, just kind of working our way down. And you know what? It doesn't look too bad, it doesn't look too great to me, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm just gonna add, we already have a lot of black over here, but I'm gonna add just a little bit more black, just a touch of it, just a touch of black over there. So I wanna show you guys, if you find something you don't like, either ignore it forever, or we can try an alternate method. I'm gonna add just a little bit of white. So I'm gonna use just this as a little straight edge to protect my rocks up here. I'm just gonna place that down. I'm gonna put just a little bit of white right there under where that waterfall is gonna be. And actually that looks a lot better already. I think that was my problem. I wasn't gonna smear it all together, but I think that fixes my problem, and I'm not gonna push my luck. I'm gonna hope that's dry enough, because you do want your rocks to be semi-dry before you do the waterfalls. So another piece of poster board. Like I said, you can use a straight side if you want to. I like the naturally torn sides that are still kind of straight like this, just because it kind of separates them a little bit, I think, and I like it. It's a subtle thing, but I like it. So we're gonna take that little piece, and I think we need this waterfall to be a little bit smaller, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut that up again. Let's spray some white off to the side. We're gonna coat that in the white, and the best way that I know how to describe this is we full send it. I think I have a reel or a TikTok or whatever it is on whatever platform you're looking at. I think I have a waterfall tutorial there. But we're just gonna full send it. We start at the top of these rocks, drop it down, and then I'm gonna have it roll off this rock right here and have it drop down again. And that looks great. That looks great. I like that. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Splish splash. We need a little bit of splish splash. You can use a little piece of poster board if you want to. I'm just gonna use my hand, okay? Very small waterfall. Very small. Okay, so we're not gonna flick up that much. In fact, I think we can actually go with just a redirection here, where I'm just spraying my hand and I'm angling it so it just kind of ricochets down towards the waterfall there. And I can't forget about that one up there. Add a little bit of a mist right there. Look at us go. Now, while we're at it, let's go ahead and add some white. I would like some plant life right here. So that's another layer. A little bit of white there so we can actually see it. Same thing over here. I'm just gonna use my hand as a guide. A little bit of white right there so we can see it. Now let's use this magazine that we've used for like 10 other things already. Let's fold it up a bunch. Off to the side, we're gonna coat that up and we're gonna go crazy. These are just gonna be plants and stuff, right? These are just gonna be some plants hanging out. Now if we wanna add some little like details and some white, we absolutely can. So spray some white off to the side. I'm gonna use the same exact side. Just tap very lightly, okay, very lightly. You don't wanna overtake all the black that we made, right? You want that really separated look. There's just some random little highlights real quick, right? So same thing up here. Just adding a little bit of white. I think I want a tree right there. So we're gonna spray some white, or some clear coat, my bad. We're gonna take one of these poster tools. I don't remember which one goes to what. And then we'll make some like maybe a little bit of grass or rocks or whatever hanging out right there. But this part of the river is really empty. So just scrape in a giant tree line or a giant tree trunk right there. Let's have it branch off a little because why not? Just a little bit more clear because we found some resistance right there. Oh, and also we can go ahead and carve out some little bumps, some little rocks, right? And I like to start from the top and then we'll just kind of make a stack, right? Start from the top, just kind of work your way down. And we have a stack of little pebbles, little rocks out there. Some little more clear coat. Yep, that's a word. That trash is trash. Come on. There we go. A nice, clean, sharp trash blade. Oh, let's add some little branches and stuff kind of going around that bush thing that we have over here. Just have some little branches kind of reach off. One final little layer right here. Magazine. Maybe we'll do the swipe. When I say swiping in the motion, I don't think I explained that, did I? So we swipe, finish the motion, and then lift it. You get like a really solid end to that, and that's no good. But if we swipe and then lift it, you get that like separated, jagged, leafy end. That's what I mean when I say lifting in the motion. Let's get a little bit of white in here. And remember, where land meets water, it gets a little white line. So let's get a piece of trash, we'll dip it in that white. We're gonna go along with the blade where land meets water, gets a little white line. Same thing right there. Right under those rocks. You know what, I think I would like just a little leafy thing right there in front of that tree. I don't like the bottom of that tree. Give it a white line. Neat. We're done. Now we're gonna take some clear coat. We're gonna give it one final coat, glossify it, beautify it. Little poster, your trash blade, to go ahead and sign your name at the bottom as well. I'm gonna try my best while holding this. This is gonna look hideous. Oh, I'm ready for it. You can barely see it, but it's there. We'll count it. I like to put the year. Boop. Oh, you know what? Let's add a little mist right in front of those bushes. Mists are nice. Mists are really nice. Hold on. Yeah. But there we go. Remember, take it one step at a time. Don't get overwhelmed. Have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. And if you're interested in more tutorials, I post every single week, and I will go ahead and show a bunch of pictures of things that we've done in that Patreon. If you're interested, I will link that in the description or bio, or once again, wherever you're actually watching this. Just depends on where you are. But good luck with it and have fun.